Welcome to Style TV. I'm your host, Alero Go.
Imagine a world without sports. No football, no basketball, no tennis, no boxing, no Formula One. All excitement gone. Now check this.
On Sports Center, we will be bringing you mind-blowing stories all around the world of sport.
Welcome back from that timeout. It's now time for us to kick completely and fully into the discourse. Now we'll be looking at the elder statesman, that terminology, elder statesman, what it does represent, what should be the true meaning of when you say someone is an elder statesman. And we have a guest who is a public affairs analyst in the person of Samson Ojutalayo right here with us to X-ray that word, elder statesman. Good morning, Samson. How you doing?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm good.
All right. We like the definition, elder statesman. In Nigeria, we hear that a lot. And for you, what's the definition, elder statesman? What does it represent to you?
I like the word for me. So it doesn't have to be a generally acceptable definition. Now, when I hear the word elder statesman, I've tried to sit down and look at it as, okay, what does it really mean? And I come up to look at it, having read through some other journals and the dictionary meaning, I have discovered that when you say somebody is an elder statesman, it simply means that the person have to be experienced, the person must be exposed, and the person must be a role model that is giving instructions, informations, guidance to the upcoming generation or to those that are behind him. So when you say elder statesman, it doesn't have to deal with your age. It doesn't have to be how old you are. It simply means that you are above some parochial interests that you put, you try to move away from selfishness to a selfless service.
Okay, looking at Nigeria, you made mention of the fact that it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be old, or it doesn't necessarily have to do with your age. Mm-hmm. But in Nigeria, most times when you hear elder statesmen, you look at those people, they have to be like 70 and above, upwards. And it seems to be the key in Nigeria. Once you're old enough, you're above our generations, and they now term you elder statesman. Would you truly say that those referred to as elder statesmen in Nigeria fit the bill?
Now, those that speaks English says that culture without reasoning is nothing but ancient errors. Now, if you look at those we call elder statesmen, if before now we've been making that mistake to say, okay, these are elder statesmen, and we look at the dictionary definition, the definitions we have on journals and other materials, and it doesn't fit in, it means we have been progressing in error before now. So we must shift our focus to what an elder statesman or what elder statesmen should really have as attribute. Now, those that we have, those that we parade as elder statesmen, do they put the interest of Nigeria before their own selfish interest? We have heard in this country that a former president of Nigeria was trying, in a democratic dispensation, was trying to elongate his tenure. We have had in this country in time past that people, when they come to national discourse, they don't put Nigeria on the table, they put Nigeria under the table, and if what they are discussing doesn't favor not even the interest of their region, their own personal interest, because the first thing they look at is how does it favor me? So when I have to look at elder statesmen now, I think the one that will be readily called upon died recently, Maitama Sule. You can talk about the likes of Awolowo, the late stage. You can talk about Nnamdi Azikiwe. You know, these are people that, if not, okay, Obafemi Awolowo University is in where? It's in Ile-Ife, right?
Okay.
Obafemi Awolowo is not from Ile-Ife. He's from Ikene. You get? So, the influence, the kind of influence that he wield, Obafemi Awolowo will have naturally put the university in his own state. Remember, the first television station in Africa was in Ibadan. Why didn't the guy put it in Ogun State? Now, look at Tafawa Balewa. The Sardauna was supposed to be the prime minister. Okay. But he looked at the interest, he looked at what Tafawa Balewa, the kind of influence he wield and the exposure, the academic level. He said, no, I will stay back at the region level. You go to the national level and represent the interest of our people, represent Nigeria at large. How many will do that? In this country, some of the water that passed under the bridge before Osinbajo came into power, we were told that somebody was called upon, give us a vice president. That is our president. Okay. President Muhammadu Buhari called one APC leader and said, give us a vice president. That one presented the wife. And that was when the Senate president was shouting that a Muslim ticket cannot work. That one told, I don't want to call names. He said, no, my wife is a Christian. Then President Buhari have to inform me, say, I don't just want a Christian. I want a Christian in the region of a bishop or a high-ranking pastor. And that was how our vice president, Osinbajo, came. Now, what am I saying in essence? Tafawa Balewa of old came to the national level because an Ahmadu Bello look at him and say, no, this guy will represent the interests of the country better, and he pushed him forward. But the present crop of politicians, you can't look at them and say, even in our religious settings, you will still see many of these spiritual leaders, both Muslims and Christians. The way they run the church, the way they run the mosque, you just look at it that this is a business enterprise. And it is disheartening that this thing is going on and the younger generation is just folding their arms. Let me tell you, as you are, you are a role model. You see, I have a friend, Femi Omolola. You see, I just mentioned his name. The thing is, sometimes I want to act. I will say, I'm not saying Jesus Christ. Will Femi Omolola do this? That guy is making influence in his own little sphere. What I'm saying in essence is this. You don't have to be 70 before you become an elder statesman. Your little influence, sphere of influence, you can make sure you impact life. And at the end of the day, you discover that they say, who can do it? Why did you call me to come to this show? You look at it that, okay, who will deliver? Let me call Samson. Meaning, I even when I came the last time I phoned, but you won't call me again. Meaning that you've seen one or two things in me. I'm not saying I'm an elder statesman already, but what I'm saying in essence is age is not a criteria. You see, they will say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. A fool, even at 10, if he doesn't change his way, a fool at 50, if he doesn't change his ways, because you can't be going to Lokoja and you face Zuba, proceeding to Suleja, and you think you will get to Lokoja. You will never get there. So, age is not a yardstick to measure statesmanship. All right.
So based on what you've said now, because when you started, you said that this is your own personal opinion. Mm-hmm. So in other words, the term elder statesman is more or less just hypothesis, just the definition. Because when you look at it literally, it doesn't have to do with age because of the term elder.
Yes. Okay. It doesn't have to. I'm an elder brother to somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Hypothetical, based on definition. But literally, you are an elder.
Yes, I'm an elder.
Not based on definition.
Yes, it's not. It's not a definition. Okay, like in the United States, they will call them congressmen. Okay. You see some other countries, they will say, okay, these are backbenchers. Okay. So it's just a term. It's just a hypothesis.
Yeah. Okay, looking at these people, what roles should they be playing? We know that yes, they're supposed to be role models, but in the Nigerian context, what role have they played in the past and in the future that they ought to be playing, or we should probably make them start playing?
You see, General Yakubu Gowon, our former president, there was a war in this country.
Do you consider him an elder statesman?
My personal opinion, yes.
Why would you consider him an elder statesman if records we have also show that during his reign as the president, we still had lots of corruption cases, issues? The governors under him were heavily corrupt, and that was what also led to another military coup, because they felt his governors, probably him personally, might not be said to be 100% corrupt, but the governors under him were said to be highly corrupted, and that was why the military came once again during his reign.
You see, I like your choice of words. He said he may not be 100% corrupt, meaning there are some element of corruption found in him. You see, now, in my village, they said there's no how you walk and your head will not shake.
Okay.
Or is it possible?
Okay. This is actually one of the reasons I invited him. He has lots of African proverbs up for grabs.
You see,
okay.
the truth is, you can't focus on his lapses.
Okay.
Meanwhile, these are just allegations.
No, it's a question. I didn't say he was corrupt.
Yes, I said these are just mere allegations,
Okay.
probably coming from you, the media guys.
Okay.
Now, what am I trying to say in essence? That Yakubu Gowon fought hard. Our former president fought hard to put the country together, to ensure that this country stay as one. And if you watch him, ever since he left, you know, what qualified him, I said somebody must be a role model. He showed us, just like Nelson Mandela,
Okay.
that I don't have to come back to power. I don't have to cling to power. He has never contested. Have you ever heard him say, I don't have interest, either maybe rumorsly on? He has never contested, and that's one of the reasons why I look at him that okay, he's a role model. Apart from that, this was a man that fought for the unification of Nigeria, to ensure that Nigeria stands together as one.
Okay.
Now, if you say, did I consider him? I will say yes.
Okay.
Yes, he may have his flaw. Yes, he may have his issues. But if you look at the impact he made for fighting Nigeria, for fighting the secessionists, for the unity of Nigeria, you will say, yes, this guy is a role model. And I think our current president is also trying in his own beast to do that with the vice president.
If you were to pick between Obasanjo, Gowon, and Buhari, one of them to be your top role model, or who fits the bill perfectly as elder statesman, who would it be?
Obasanjo, Gowon, and Buhari.
Yes.
And now the thing is, I don't want you to box me, but
No, I'm not boxing you. It's a triangle.
Obasanjo is out of it.
Why should Obasanjo be out of it? He also followed suit, finishing the tenure of Murtala and handed over, right?
Okay, yes, he handed over.
Okay, so why should he be out of it? I'm not saying he's clean. I'm just asking a question.
Okay. You see, I was not privileged to witness the first reign of Obasanjo in 1978.
Yes.
Gowon, I read about him in the books.
Okay, just like Obasanjo too.
Yes, just
like
Obasanjo. But I was fully on ground. I was politically inclined, as in when he came back in 1999.
Okay.
As of 1998, when they were projecting him, I was already politically in tune.
Okay.
So the thing is, I could choose for myself who my role model should be.
Okay.
For President Buhari, yes, fantastic guy. Either you hate him or like him, he's wearing that toga of a man of integrity, even though some will still contest it.
Okay.
Yes, but what I'm saying in essence is, for Obasanjo, we have had series of allegations against him. How will a man go and look at Obasanjo poster, our former president poster, Chief Obasanjo poster in 1998? You will see this tribal mark very, very ingrained on his cheek.
Okay.
Go and look at Mr. Obasanjo now. You will see him, fresh boy. As in, look at a guy that was bankrupt in 1998. Now he's a multi-billionaire, if not a trillionaire. This was a guy, I watched him, I was not told. He said when he came to power, he intended making 50 billionaires. He said, but I failed. He said, I ended up making 25 billionaires. And he looked at Alakija. And he said, Madam, you are one of them. What is Alakija doing? that others cannot do? How did you make your billions? Those that you said you ended up making billionaires, what are the things that we have in this country where importation of some items, cement, was banned, and you say only one person should be giving us cement? What do you call, you know I'm an economist, what do we call monopoly? So the guy will just sleep and wake up, and we just discover that, okay, I'm a broke guy, and you just increase the price of cement, and you must buy because people will build house. So that's just, have you forgotten the Halliburton scandal?
Okay.
Have you forgotten the sales of some of what's it called, Nitel?
Okay.
And some other infrastructure in the country, and you expect me to make such a man as a role model? Of course,
So
it is
why
a no.
Why
So
is he in the African continent, in Nigeria, highly respected, feared? Why?
in 2007,
Okay.
there's this outfit, the Mohammed Ibrahim Foundation, Mo Ibrahim for
Yes,
short,
yes, Mo
for
Ibrahim.
African leaders, prize.
Yeah, prize.
In 2007, Chisano of Mozambique
Big, yes.
won.
Yes, he did.
2008, another person. But do you know, in the last 2 years, there is no African leader that is qualified to take the award of $5 million. No African leaders. And yet you are saying somebody, you see, there are awards that you win and you just like, yeah, you won. You get, these are things you buy with money. But when we talk of Mo Ibrahim, you can't just go there. It's not cheap. So if you are saying you bribe your way, at least we have a former president in this country, I'm not calling names, that was giving Ghana must go, that okay, he doesn't want to go after his second tenure, that the National Assembly should look for a way to amend the constitution and make him have a third term. You get? So what we are saying in essence is that you can buy some of these things. At the end of the day, you know, something amazes me when you see Nigerian politicians. Right from when I was in secondary school in the 90s, they will say my people are begging me, and I begin as an analyst there in my own mushroom analysis. I will be asking myself, your people are begging you to come and contest, meaning you don't have a vision to contest. It is your people that are begging you. You know, in the United States, you will discover that they will say, oh, this president contested for 5 times, he lost and he won, meaning this guy was ready to lead. But in Nigeria, the politician will be saying that they are begging him, and when they come, they fumble. You know why they are fumbling? They were not ready. Because you say your people,
Okay.
had it been something that I've been planning to do,
All right.
you see, I will get myself ready to do the job. So what I'm saying in essence is this: you cannot bring Obasanjo to play that he's an African leader because he's been appointed to some. But let him go and win Mo Ibrahim. Now, let me not throw the baby away with the bathwater. You cannot. Obasanjo is just a man that you cannot totally do away with. If you have read this book by Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power,
Okay.
there's one law there. I think it's rule number 3. It says, instead of your people to neglect you, do bad thing. Let your name always be on the lips of people. Let them keep talking about you. And Obasanjo is using that rule very well, because if you are forgotten, our former leaders, you are counting, you forgotten Obasanjo, he will just wake up the next morning, just say one thing. People will start criticizing. I will say, hey, this man is just making himself relevant.
Right.
Either good or bad, he will just be there.
All right. As we wrap up this discourse, Hembadon cannot stop chuckling away. But before we wrap up, what should be the role model? Are we likely to have elder statesmen within our generation, this new generation, as we look ahead of 2019 and ahead of a new Nigeria? We just turned 57. What are the possibilities of having fresh elder statesmen that could, support the dream of the new Nigeria? Do we have them already on ground?
Yes. And regularly I'll pick our vice president. Yes, I love our President Muhammadu Buhari. Hate him or like him, he has his own plus. Now, this is a man that didn't give up. He has been contesting from 2003, showing that, okay, if you don't have it, before now we'll be looking at Washington, but now we can look at Buhari and say, okay, he didn't give up. He contested, he lost, and yet he kept on contesting, and
Finally won.
Finally he is there, and I give it to him that, okay, in that aspect,
he was persistent.
He
The
was
Nigerian
persistent.
spirit was like,
yes, and hate him or like him, when it comes to integrity, you know, he has actually tried. Although some people are contesting it, but give it up to him. For somebody to hold sway in PTF and nothing happened, I think he tried. Then aside that, I think for me, Osinbajo is a good person I can readily pinpoint to. Then in the spiritual aspect, you look at the likes of E.A. Adeboye, that's the pastor of Redeemed Christian Church of God. You know, you look at the like of Bishop Oyedepo. Then in the business world, I think Aliko Dangote, to a reasonable extent, Femi Otedola, then the Globe, Bakoma Denuga. You know, these are still, you know, I said it doesn't have to be politics. You know, these are people that can give guide. You know, this is, so sometimes when you say somebody is an elder statesman, they are sometimes retired, but sometimes also experience counts for them. So this set of people, we can actually look up to them in Nigeria. And when you go
does
international,
Tony Elumelu, Amina Mohammed in the UN, do these people ring a bell? Do they cross to you like people?
I will take that to
pick
be
up?
correction. I will take that to be correction on my part.
How?
That I didn't mention any lady. I was just, and I hope the lady here is not.
No, we're just chatting and looking at the way
But
forward.
the truth is, Tony Elumelu is doing a great job. If you can start organizations from the scratch
Right.
and you build a monumental service delivery outfit, I think you fit in perfectly to that setup to be an elder statesman. Yes, Tony Elumelu is there,
So
and
we-
even Tony Nwulu is also there.
All right, so we have to rephrase the term elder statesman. Now we know that it's not about how old you are. You don't have to be 90, 70, or 80 for you to get that toga. You just have to do the right thing, be consistent, be selfless. That's the word. Be selfless, give back to the community, so that people around you can feel the value you're adding to their lives, so that we can indeed get the great country of our dream. I want to say a big thank you to the economist in the studio and also a public affairs analyst in the person of Samson Ojutalayo. Thank you very much for
pleasure
joining
so
us.
much.
And that's how we will be calling it a wrap on this discourse. We'll go for a quick timeout. When we come back, Hemba Down and I will be wrapping it up.